Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another Top Secret SI review. This time, I've got another two for you. Starting off with Freelancers and Free America. I figured might as well knock them out together right off the bat. I really dug these two. As you may not be aware, this is actually a top secret environment with superpowers and super science mixed in, set initially in the late 80s, but as we get into Free America, that goes into a little later time period. But right off the bat, if you want to add just a little bit more to your top secret campaign, a little bit more high tech, a little bit more weird science, and obviously superpowers, then this is your entry ticket to that sort of a campaign. For the most part, it uses all of the original top secret SI rules and mechanics. It adds a few more advantages and disadvantages, more appropriate for a low-level superhero game. Now, mind you, there is room to beef up the superpowers, but for the most part, it's just one more step above pulp in the way of superpowers and super abilities and that sort of thing. It still uses the skills system, all the same rules. It just adds a little bit more oomph to your top secret games. If you want to add, super strength and super speed and things like that, as well as a few other abilities. This is like I said, this is your gateway. It also goes in with its own. I think it's Orion. There's another super group and super politics and that sort of thing. A big portion of this book is taken up by their own brand of superheroes and supervillains, along with a brief history of what was. Oh, I guess it's just the Freelancers mega corporation or super group or department of the government with handling with superpowers, super abilities. But it does have a few like basically the characters you see on the cover. It goes in and describes them and stats them out, which is fine. It gives you a good baseline idea of what you can accomplish with in the way of superpowers and super abilities with their basic characters, and most of them are not much different than some of the things you would expect. No Superman or the Flash or anything crazy type characters like that, but it does give you a fair shake of some superheroes. Then Free America, fast forward 10 or more years later to a dystopian version of the world. Not the full broken down. It's more like at the very beginning of the breakdown of the global governments, especially the United States, Free America, and it's kind of surprising how many things that were foretold in this book actually kind of came true or are coming true. It's almost as if some people took this as a playbook, but we can talk about that in the chat section. Or if you've already read any of these books, feel free to give me your thoughts. But this is, for the most part, just a history book on the future of the top secret world and what's going to happen in that sort of environment, that dystopian future. Again, some of the repeat characters from the first book are here. It also comes with this nifty map of the United States and shows all the different areas. I'm not going to completely unfold it. There's California and the West Coast, and then there's, of course, the East Coast, and different locations on the map. Different high-tech organizations and centers along with a lot of the locations of the famous people that they describe in here. There's the radiation wastes of California, and what were some of the other interesting? The toxic dump in Oregon. Insert your own, funny memes as you see fit, because trust me, they're pretty appropriate. But that's, not for everybody. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I would do something vastly different. I would probably run this game, not in the 90s and more like in the 50s or something like that to really push the envelope. But for having been written in 1988, 89, that period, and jumping 10 years ahead, they were pretty spot on with a lot of things. A little too close for comfort, if you ask me. But all in all, it's definitely something you might be interested in. For the most part, I'll probably never run it, but I'm glad that I read it. I'm glad that I picked it up and I own it. And who knows, maybe in the future it'll be something that I want to run. Maybe run it, exactly as planned. But like I said, for the most part, I would probably run it. If I was going to run it today or tomorrow, I would definitely run it a few decades ahead of time and add a little bit more sci-fi elements to it. Although I'm more likely to run the Agent 13 style in the past. It's just easier, in my opinion, to do so. A lot less work. You have a lot more to draw upon. But if you're feeling creative and you want to do a modern campaign set in a somewhat dystopian future with superheroes, super spies, all that sort of thing, then this might just be your bag. Otherwise, let me know what is your bag. I'd love to hear what you guys would run. If you're running a sci-fi or just a regular, modern spy game or contemporary espionage game, or maybe even something supernatural, which is something that's definitely lacking. But I'm going to actually be covering next week a spy game that actually adds a little bit of the supernatural to it, that being Spies, Mercenaries, and Private Eyes. I think they got that right. Maybe not, but I'll be reviewing that. I'm still looking for a copy of the James Bond game to review by the end of the month, but I also still have a stack of other top secret modules and supplements, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to get through it. These took me the whole week to get through, because it's about 200 pages worth of spy and espionage goodness. But that's what I got for you tonight. I am actually about to go jump into a game, but I wanted to make sure I got something out for you guys before the weekend, give you some stuff to mull over, think about. Let me know what you thought in the comments section. I'd love to hear if you're even interested in modern day espionage, that sort of thing. I know these videos aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I appreciate you guys, playing along and giving me your opinions on this thing. I'm still trying to figure out why it was never the mainstay of role playing, considering how much information and how much there is to draw upon, as opposed to science fiction and fantasy and horror. But maybe if you add a little bit of each into an espionage game, maybe that's the ticket. But let me know what you think in the comments section. I will talk to you guys later. As always, have a great weekend, and of course, happy trails.